All right, let's dive into one of the biggest changes to hit software development in, well, ever, AI-assisted programming. We're going to cut through the hype and get right to what matters, how you can actually use these tools and turn AI into a real co-pilot for your code.
I mean, it really felt like that, right? 1 minute, generative AI was this kind of niche, interesting thing, and the next, bam, it was everywhere. It just completely changed the game for millions of developers, practically overnight. It was huge, it was sudden, and it left all of us thinking, okay, what happens now?
And that's the real question, isn't it? Because it's one thing to have the AI write you a funny poem. It's a totally different thing to really weave it into your professional workflow. So how do we get from just playing around with the cool new toy to strategically working with a seriously powerful assistant?
To get there, we've got to start by thinking about our relationship with these tools in the right way. This isn't about being replaced. It's about getting the most powerful collaborator you've ever had.
This right here, this is probably the most important mental shift you can make. An AI assistant isn't some magic oracle that spits out perfect, production-ready code every single time. A much better way to think of it is like a junior dev. A junior dev who's incredibly fast, knows a ton, but, lacks real-world experience.
And just like a junior dev, it needs your guidance. You're the senior developer in this relationship. You're the architect. You've got the context, the big picture. The AI can churn out code like nobody's business, but you have to give it clear instructions, you have to review its work, and at the end of the day, you are the one who's responsible for the quality of the final product.
So, if you're the guide, that brings us to the most critical skill in this whole new world. You have to master the art of the prompt. Seriously, how well you can talk to the AI is going to define how successful you are with it.
It's the oldest rule in computing, and it has never been more true than it is right now. If you give it vague, lazy prompts, you're going to get generic and, frankly, pretty useless results back. But if you give it clear, specific, context-rich prompts, you're going to get code that's shockingly close to what you actually wanted.
And this slide just shows it perfectly. Look at the left. Add CSS for this product list. What does that even mean? The AI has to guess everything. But on the right, now we're talking. You've told it what to build, a login page. You specified the tech, React. You've even given it a design constraint, use Material UI. You've given it a clear roadmap to success.
Okay, so how do we write great prompts consistently without just guessing? We need to have a strategy. And the easiest way to do that is to use a simple framework.
A really great one you can use is called the tag pattern. Super simple. T is for task. What's the overall goal? A is for action. What are the specific steps the AI should take to get there? And G is for guideline. What are the rules, the constraints, or even the persona it should adopt? Like, act as a security expert. Let's see how it works in practice. So, the task is clear. Create a responsive web layout. Simple enough. The actions are specific. Generate the HTML, the CSS, and the JavaScript. And the guideline is absolutely crucial. Use Flexbox for the layout, and make sure it works on mobile, tablet, and desktop. See? That takes a vague idea and turns it into a professional, actionable request.
Now that we have a solid strategy for prompting, let's take a look at how these tools can be used across a couple of different fields. First up, let's talk web development. Tools like GitHub Copilot are amazing because they live right inside your code editor, so they're incredibly fast for things like boilerplate and auto-completion.
A lot of the time, you don't even need a separate chat window. You can just write a comment in your code describing what you want next, and Copilot will just generate it for you. In this case, a simple comment scaffolds out the entire basic HTML structure of a page. This saves so much typing and lets you focus on the tricky parts. But hey, it's not just a web development game. Not at all. These exact same principles are incredibly powerful for things like data science and analysis too. Just look at this prompt. It's fantastic. It breaks the problem down into clear, logical actions for the AI. First, load the data. Second, do a very specific cleaning task. And third, run a calculation. If you're a data scientist, this can save you hours in that initial exploratory phase of a project. Okay, so this all looks pretty amazing. But it brings us to what might be the single most crucial point of all. As these tools get better and better, the role of you, the human expert, becomes even more important. You have to remember, these models make mistakes. They can hallucinate, which is just a fancy way of saying they make stuff up. They'll invent functions that don't exist, or write code that looks right but is actually insecure. Your experience, your knowledge, your gut feeling,
That is the essential firewall. You are the final quality check.
And what that means is that all those classic, time-tested engineering practices we've relied on for decades are more important now than ever. You still need to write unit tests for the code the AI generates. You absolutely still need your team to do code reviews. You still have to manually test things. The fundamentals of good software engineering don't go away. They just become even more critical.
So to wrap this all up, just remember this. You've been handed the most powerful Copilot in the history of programming. It can anticipate what you need, it can execute commands at lightning speed, but you are still the pilot. You're the one in the driver's seat. You set the destination, you check the instruments, and you have the final say. So the only question left is, where are you going to steer the project?